If you're working at the Linux command line and you want to search for files or sort your files based on the free available timestamps, then this lesson is just for you. Hi, my name is Robert Wolfert, and in today's video lesson I want to talk about the timestamps, the free available timestamps that are available with every single file on a Linux system, and how you can leverage these timestamps for sorting your files and for searching for files. Yeah. But wait, there is a catch. At the end of this lesson, I will make you an offer. Yeah. So I will make you an offer that I think will be very, very valuable for you. So if you're cool with that, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead with sharing my screen. So here we are, and you may already know that we have 3 different timestamps available with every single file. So if you call ls-l within a directory or for a directory, then you see all the files within the directory, and along with the files you see a timestamp. You see all the other meta information, but you see a timestamp. And the timestamp you see here is the modification time of the file. Then you perhaps you know that there are 2 additional timestamps available with every single file. So let's go to the whiteboard. You see here you have 3 timestamps. You have the modification time, you have the change time, and you have the access time. These are the 3 timestamps. If you simply call ls-l, you see the modification time, the time when the content of the file was for the last time modified. Yeah. Then we have a change time. The change time talks about the metadata of the file. So as soon as you update the metadata, the properties, as soon as you rename a file, as soon as you change the ownerships, as soon as you change the permissions of a file, then the change time will be updated. Yeah. This is the timestamp where the properties, the attributes of the file were modified for the last time. And then you have the access time, the last timestamp here, the right timestamp here. The access time is the timestamp when the content of the file was accessed for the last time. If you open a file, if you read the content, then the access time will be updated. And if you call ls-l, then you see the modification time. If you see a different timestamp, you want to see the C time, for instance, the change time, then simply add a command line switch --time equals to C time. And now you don't see the modification time anymore, but you see the change time. And if you want to see the access time, then simply add --time equals to A time. Now you see the access time. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's create a new file, test123, just by calling touch. Yeah, if you call touch with the name of a file that doesn't already exist, then touch creates a new file for you. Let's have a look. ls-l test123 was created just now, yeah, May the 18th, and with a size of 0 bytes. So for now, all the 3 timestamps are set to the current time. Yeah, the modification time, the change time, and the access time. All the 3 timestamps were set to the time when the file was created. Yeah. Now let's try to change these timestamps. Yeah, currently we have 9:13, few seconds we have 9:14. So now let's try to change a timestamp here. Let's change the modification time by simply adding content to the file. Yeah, simply appending hello world to the end of the file test123. So now we have updated the modification time. Yeah, we have updated the content of the file. We have updated the change time too. Yeah. And that is just because the change time is the timestamp for all the metadata, all the properties of the file, and the properties contain the data blocks too. So if you change the content of the file, you change the modification time and you change the change time. If you change only the properties of the file, then you change only the C time, the change time. Yeah? So the change time is about the properties of the file or plus the content, the data blocks. Yeah? The content are the data blocks, and the data blocks can be seen as metadata, as properties too. Yeah? Okay, so I have updated the content of the file, and now the C time and the M time, the modification time, was set to the current time. Now let's try to update only the C time, the change time, by simply changing the properties, only the properties, not the content, only the properties of the file. Let's do this with change mod, for instance, O-R. I want to remove this read permission for all the others. Yeah, change mod O-R for test 1, 2, 3. Now we see that the modification time is still 9:14. The C time, the change time, is 9:16, the current time, and the access time wasn't modified at all. The access time is still 9:30. So if you want to update the access time, simply have a look into the file. Simply open the file for reading, and then the access time will be updated. Simply print the content of the file out with cat test 1, 2, 3, and now the access time was updated to 9:17. So now you know how these 3 timestamps work when they will be updated. The modification time will be updated if you change the content. The change time will be updated if you change the properties of the file or if you change the content, and the access time will be updated if you simply access the file. Okay. Can we update the content or the timestamps of the file without modifying the content, without modifying the properties? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And this is also the reason why you should not rely on these timestamps too much. You can simply use the touch command for modifying the timestamps. I try to write with the mouse on the whiteboard. Simply use the touch command by touching the timestamps, by setting the timestamps of a file to the current time. Back to the command line. Let's call touch with test 1, 2, 3. If you call touch with a new file name, with a file name that doesn't already exist, then you create a new file. If you call touch with a file name, with the name of an existing file, then you update all the 3 timestamps at once and set these 3 timestamps to the current time. So let's have a look. ls-l test 1, 2, 3. The modification time is 9:18. The -- time equals to a time is 9:18. A time is 9:18, and the C time is 9:18 too. So by simply calling touch, you can set all the 3 timestamps at once to the current time. And if you want to set not all the timestamps at once, you can set only the modification time if you want to, with the command line switch -M, this simply changes only the modification time. If you want to change only the access time, then add a -A command line switch. Then you change only the access time. You cannot change the change time with the touch command. It won't work. Yeah. The change time is only updated by the system itself if you modify the content of the file, if you modify the properties of the file. If you modify the modification time, then the change time will be updated too. Yeah. So with touch, you can change all the timestamps at once if you want to, or you can change only the modification time or only the access time. And you don't have to set the timestamps to the current time. You can write a timestamp. You can write a time. The timestamps should be set to, or shall be set to. Yeah, not the current time, but a completely different time. Let's have a look. Let's have a look into the manual page of the touch command, man touch. Let's scroll a little bit down, and here you see you can give a timestamp. And the timestamp simply consists of the month, the day, the hour, and the minute, and can contain the year as 2 digits or 4 digits. Yeah, and the timestamp can contain even the seconds if you need to. Yeah, so you can use -T together with touch to set any time you can think of for the timestamp. Let's try this out. Let's try this out. We have test 1, 2, 3 with a timestamp of today, 9/18. Let's say I want to change the modification time. I want to change only the modification time to yesterday. I want to change the modification time to yesterday. Yesterday was May the 17th. Yeah, and let's say I have modified the file yesterday at 6 p.m. Let's have a look. ls-l test 1, 2, 3. Now the timestamp is set to yesterday, the May 17th, 6 p.m. If you want to, you can change the timestamp to something in the future if you need to. For instance, let's say I want to set a timestamp for Christmas this year. Yeah, for the 24th December, again 6 p.m. and now I have set the modification time to this time. Let's have a look at the C time, -time equals to C time. And as you see, the C time here is still today. Yeah, still today, 9/22, just because we have updated the properties of the file. We have updated the modification time of the file at 9/22 today. Yeah, so we cannot set a change time directly to a timestamp or to a time we choose. The change time is always set by the system. Yeah. And let's have a look at the access time. Let's have a look at the access time, and the access time is still 9/18. Yeah. Okay, great. So you can use the touch command for simply changing the modification time or the access time to a timestamp you want, or you can even choose a reference file. And this way, with -R and then a reference file, you can set the timestamp of a file just like the timestamps that are set on a reference file. Yeah, with touch. Let's have a look. We have here different files. Let's say we have the file something here, and now I want to set the timestamp for the file test123, just like the timestamps are set for the file something. let's do this. touch-r, the reference file is the file something, and test123 is the file we want to set the timestamps for. Let's have a look, and the timestamps now are equal, yeah, just by using this reference file. Okay, so now we know how we can set, how we can read these timestamps. So how can we leverage, how can we use these timestamps for sorting the files, for instance? If you call ls-l, then all the files within the current directory or within the directory reference are sorted by name. If you want to sort these files by timestamp, yeah, then just add a -t command line switch, -t for timestamp. Pay attention, a lowercase t, the order doesn't matter. Yeah, the order of the command line options -l, -t here in this example doesn't matter. And you can even combine these command line options. Yeah, ls-lt gives you the long output, and now the files are sorted based on the timestamp. And you see the oldest file is the last line within the output, the newest file, or yeah, the file with the timestamp farthest away in the future is the first line you see here. Yeah. Okay. We sort with -t by modification time. If you want to sort by change time, by access time, simply add these command line switches. Yeah, --time equals to c time will sort with or based on the change time. --time equals to a time will sort based on the access time. Yeah, for sorting, simply add a -t command line switch. Then you sort based on the modification time, sort based on the change time or access time by simply appending --time equals to and then the timestamp. And if you want to reverse the order, you want to see the newest file at the bottom of the output, then just add a -r command line switch. Yeah, order doesn't matter. Typically, I use this within a directory ls-ltr in this way to see the last modified file within a directory. Yeah, simply get a list of all the files within a directory, and you see at the first glance what are the files that were modified at least, yeah, or at last. Let's have a look what files were accessed at last. --time equals to a time. Yeah, and now you see list.txt and then project, then these three directories, and then info.pdf and so on. Yeah, let's have a look at the c time, and you see we have a different order here. Yeah, just because now we have sorted based on the c time with --time equals to a time, we have sorted based on the access time, and with without --time equals to something, we sort based on the modification time. Yeah, so this is really a great way for sorting. Yeah, you wanna know what happened within the etc directory, for instance. Yeah, let's have a look into the etc directory ls-l/etc, and let's sort based on the timestamp, based on the modification time, based and reverse the order. So this is the last file that was modified within the etc directory, and I typically call it this way, ls-ltr. The order of the command line options doesn't matter. Yeah, ls-ltr and directory, and you see the content sorted based on the modification time. Can be really, really handy. If you want to know which files were accessed at last within the etc directory, then simply add --time equals to a time. And now you see these are the last accessed files within the etc directory. So now we know how to sort files based on the timestamp. Yeah, -t, -r for sorting. And now let's talk about searching. And for searching, you use the find command. The find command is the command if it comes to searching for files based on their properties. You want to search for files based on the name, based on the size, based on the ownerships, based on the permissions, and so on. And you can use find to search based on the timestamp. For instance, let's start with the modification time. If you want to search for files based on the modification time, then you use a search criteria called only one single dash. Yeah. Now, -m time for searching for the modification time. And then a number. Let's say the number is an n, the number. Yeah. Pay attention, the find command and the long option only is introduced only with one single dash, not -m time, but only -m time. Yeah. So find -m time and then the number, and typically you will prepend a plus sign or a dash, a minus sign in front of the number. And this then means that the m time is within a time frame of n, or without a time frame, or outside a time frame of n. Let's have a look at the command line. Let's search for files within the current directory. If you want to search within a different directory, just append just add as a first parameter the directory you want to search in. If I want to search within the current directory, recursively through all directories within the current directory, then just omit the path find shall search in. And now let's append all the criteria you want to search for. And I want to search for files with a modification time within the time frame of the last 5 days. If you call m time as a command line switch, a criteria m time, then you search with a granularity of 24 hours. And here we are searching for modification times within the time frame of the last 5 times 24 hours, within the last 5 days. Yeah, we see all the files modified within the last 5 days. If you want to see all the files not modified within the last 5 days, yeah, all the files with modification times outside of this time frame, then simply write -m time plus 5. Then we see all the other files within the current directory, and you see that we really search recursively through all the directories. Yeah, you see files within a subdirectory, within a subdirectory, and so on. Yeah. So we have the m time for searching for the modification time. We have the -c time for searching based on the change time, and we have the -a time for searching based on the access time. This can be very handy if you want to search for files that aren't used anymore. I know that many distributions does something similar like this. They are searching regularly via cron job, for instance, within the TMP directory, and they are searching for files with an a time outside of, let's say, the last 30 days. Please show me all the files not accessed within the last 30 days. And just because it is a TMP directory for only for temporary files, we can simply remove these files. Yeah, let's let's call the find command via sudo, just because there are temporary files perhaps I have no read access for. And you see there are some files within the TMP directory that were not accessed within the last 30 days. And then you could simply, or many distributions do this as a cron job, as a type of housekeeping. Then they simply remove the files they find. And this is an example for how you can not just only print the file names out, instead just call a command line for every file you find. Just call a command line, and as an example, I don't want to remove, I just want to print out the remove command line. And you see here that for every file found by the find command, for every file we just print out rm and then the file name itself. rm and then the file name. And many distributions I know do this as a type of housekeeping for removing temporary files not in use anymore. Okay, so you have these 3 timestamps available for searching: M time, C time, A time. You are searching always for 20 or with a granularity of 24 hours. If you need a better granularity, you can search based on a minute. Then the criteria would be M min for minute, or C min, dash C min, or dash A min, and so on. Sorry, not C time or A time or M time, but M min, C min, and A min. That can be very handy if you want to search for files accessed within the last 60 minutes, for instance. Let's find within the current directory for files that were accessed a min within the last, let's say, 10 minutes. I have one single file that was accessed within the last 10 minutes, or where the timestamp, the access time, is within the last 10 minutes. Everything that's not within the last 10 minutes with the access timestamp, these are all the other files. And the same goes with the modification time. Which files were modified within the last hour within the current directory? Again, list.txt. Within the last 2 hours, we have 2 files. We have the directory itself, the current directory. We have the vim info file, and we have the list.txt. These are the 3 files, the only 3 files within the current directory, and all its subdirectories modified within the last 2 hours. Let's have a look into the etc directory. Let's call, to avoid all these read and permission errors, let's call this via sudo find etc-mn-120. Let's see what was modified within the last 2 hours. Nothing was modified within the last 2 hours. What was accessed within the last 2 hours? Plenty of files. What was accessed within the last 10 minutes, for instance? These files were accessed within the last 10 minutes. Okay, so now you know the timestamps. You know the timestamps, how they are set, how you can set them just without modifying the file, so that you not anymore rely on them too much. You can simply use the touch command to set the modification time, to set the access time to any timestamp you want, to any time you want. And you can search via ls or with the find command. You can use these timestamps, you can leverage these timestamps for sorting and for searching. Yeah. And at the start of this lesson, I mentioned an offer. Yeah. Here it comes, or to be honest, there are two offers. The second one is a free one, and the first one is the Shell Toolbox. The Shell Toolbox is a book, an ebook I have written originally at the request for my clients to give them an overview, to give them a handout for all the tools they need for their daily work. Yeah, and all the tools within the book come with example calls, they come with short explanations to illustrate how they can be used. Yeah, so this is the Shell Toolbox. Today you can have access to the Shell Toolbox too. If you are interested, go to shelltoolbox.com. Somewhere there should be the link to the Shell Toolbox. Yeah, if you are interested into this ebook, go to shelltoolbox.com and order your copy now. And the second offer I have here is a free offer. If you are just starting at the Linux command line, then I know it can be really overwhelming from time to time mastering the command line, just starting working with the command line, feeling comfortable at the Linux command line. And if you are just starting, then the Linux Beginners Framework, that's a free ebook, the Linux Beginners Framework, would be just for you. If you are interested in, have a look at robertw.io/lbf for the Linux Beginners Framework. Yeah, I hope you can see this. robertw.io/lbf, the Linux Beginners Framework, completely for free. Yeah, just enter your email address and get your copy straight into your inbox. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. If you have any comments, just leave them in the comments below this video, and see you next time.